Gather round and watch your Cardinal athletes compete. Raise your hand in victory as we bring you the dish for the three or the drive to the hoop. Celebrate wins with us. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
I'm Howie Shapiro. We have a quick one tonight.
Yeah,
we're running out of stuff.
We are down to the bitter end. Just one Coon Rapids team continues this week for the winter season. So
pretty exciting.
It's getting all wrapped up,
Yep.
and obviously outdoors it's starting to feel a little bit like spring. Thunderstorm rolling in.
A little tornado watch. You know, it's this perfect Minnesota weather.
Don't worry. We still have some high school state tournaments ahead of us.
Yes.
So probably not quite done with the snow yet.
Correct.
But we are getting close to the end for Cardinal athletics. We start tonight with wrestling. The XL Energy Center was the center of the attention for high school wrestling fans this past weekend as Minnesota's best came together for the state championships. 3 Cardinals qualified for the big meet, all going into the tournament as runners-up out of Section 7-3A. The Coon Rapids representatives included 2 seniors and a sophomore, and all did their school proud. This is the venue all wrestlers in Minnesota hope to reach in early March. Start with the youngest and the smallest of the Cardinal qualifiers. Sophomore 106-pounder John Svobany. He draws 7th-seeded Jared Spahn of Sauk Rapids Rice in the first round. Spahn pins Svobany late in the first period because Spahn lost his next match. Svobany's state tournament was over. 195-pound senior Jack Scheck gets first-round draw. He's familiar with, and he gets the first takedown on conference rival Justin Mullen of Centennial. But Mullen gets the better of him in the second round, getting the pin in 3:45. Scheck did get a second chance, but lost in a decision to 4th-seeded Felipe Ramirez of Faribault. Heavyweight and captain TJ Mandyke has been in the top 5 almost all year, and he starts his tournament right. Takes him just 80 seconds to get the pin on James Johnson of Minnetonka. Mandyke lost his next match, but battled his way through the back of the bracket and finished his career with another pin in the 5th-place match. So congratulations to him, bringing home some hardware.
Nice to see the hand raised.
And he beat James Johnson from Shorewood, wrestling for Minnetonka by fall in the first round. And then lost to Corey Gunther, who finished up as, I think, he finished in the 3rd-place match out of Northfield. He got a couple of decisions over Dylan McEachran of Faribault and Micah Mangle of, I think that was supposed to be St. Cloud. Don't quote me on that. Then he lost in the consolation semifinals to Brady Reichstad of Wilmer, who finished 3rd, and beat Bryson Wilkins with a second-period pin in the 5th-place match to ensure that he came home with a medal. A nice way to finish his career. 38-7 record this year.
That's impressive, no question.
Tim Mandyke and Svobany, 30 wins this season.
Yeah, you know, it was nice to get you send 3 wrestlers to state, and you know, certainly they competed well, and for Tim to win that 5th-place medal, that was a nice showing for him, no question. And
congratulations to the Anoka Tornado wrestling team that finished as runners-up, losing a tough one. They had the lead on Apple Valley going to the final 2 weights, but a tie going to the final match ended with a pin for Apple Valley, but still a nice season for the Tornadoes, and it does speak to how strong the Section 7 and Northwest Suburban Conference competition is.
Yeah, I mean, this is a strong state in general for wrestling. You saw a number of Anoka wrestlers rated in the top. I think just one wrestler able to take home the gold first-place finish in the state tournament. So, but definitely congratulations to them. The girls' basketball team got a tough draw for the section tournament, facing a team in the first round that had had their number all season. The Anoka Tornadoes blew past the Cardinals in both meetings during the regular season, winning by 19 and 20 points. So Coon Rapids knew they would need their best game of the year and a little luck if they wanted to make it to the semifinals. Tornadoes stormed a big lead early. Cardinals trying to keep it within reach, and they got a big night from the big player in the post. Ellie Carver scores underneath, hoping to spark the offense. Anoka firing on all cylinders. Lily Schockneck hits 3 from the top of the key. That puts the home team up by 10. Cardinals able to answer that one. Caitlin Hagstrom with an open look from the corner, hits from the 3, but Hagstrom was just held to 5 points in the game. We're going to go to late in the half. Anoka's Brittany Bongard dials very long distance, and she connects, pushing the lead back to double digits. but Anoka only up by 9 at the break. They start to open it up in the second. Abby Slater hits a 3 from the right corner that puts Anoka in full control, leading by 16. Anoka started the half with a 19-4 run. Carver ends the streak with another basket underneath. Ellie had a game-high 16 points. Bongart also had 16 for Anoka. She scores around Carver on this play, and the Tornadoes breeze to another big win. 53-32 is the final.
Yeah, the Tornadoes then pulled off an upset over number 2, Forest Lake, a 55-53 win, but they will have their hands full in Wednesday's championship against the top-seeded Tornadoes, or top-seeded Huskies, Andover winners by 31 and 22 points.
They're good.
53-point margin
They're
in
good.
the 2 tournament games. I mean, this is the time of year when you're seeing the best competition, and they're blowing past them right now.
No question about it. Should be could be a long night for Anoka.
Yeah, well, the boys basketball team should be ready for this week's section tournament after finishing the regular season schedule, facing 2 tough competitors. Final 2 games of the year put the Cardinals up against the 2nd and 3rd place teams from the west side of the Northwest Suburban. It started with a visit to Armstrong to take on a Falcons squad that was 17-7 and still had a chance to catch first place Maple Grove. Cardinals certainly not intimidated by the Falcons and flying right with them early. Tyrion kicks out Sam Carver for the baseline jumper. That tied it at 4, but Carver limited by Armstrong. Falcons couldn't contain Tyrion Johnson, however. He gets the steal, takes it to the other end. For the easy layup, Johnson had a double-double, 18 points, 10 boards, plus 2 steals and 8 assists. But this was a good counter-punch type contest. Good rotation for the Falcons late in the half. Isaiah Rollins hits the 3 from the corner. Teams go to the locker room, knotted at 29. Second half, another big night from Lionel Warner for Coon Rapids. He put up 20 against Armstrong, his 12th game of 20 or more points this season. Falcons able to take advantage down the stretch, though. Great feed to Race Thompson driving the lane. He dunks. Armstrong up by 4 at that point. Thompson again, this time drawing the defense and dropping the dime to Calvin Green underneath. Falcons pull away at the end and able to earn the 78-68 win. And then they face number 3 from the West Park Center in another close contest that the Pirates able to pull away at the end for an 86-75 win. Lionel Warner putting up 22 points. That's number 13 if you're counting on the season that he's been 20 or better. Dio Lawal, nice to come back from that ankle injury. A 21-point night in the season finale. Sam Carver put up 17 points, had 6 rebounds. Tyrion down a little bit with only 10 points, 4 boards, 7 assists.
That's it.
Brandon Pratt added 5. But 4 players in double digits. The downside of that is Brandon Pratt's 5 points, the only points outside of those 4 players for the Cardinals.
Yeah, they want to distribute the scoring quite obviously, but you're right. 4 players with double digits, and really coming at this time of the year, even though they knew going to that last week of the season, 2 very tough games, but it gets them tournament ready, and they're coming out.
Absolutely.
They're going to come out playing Anoka on Thursday, and I think they're going to be more than ready, and they're going to be chomping at the bit ready to play.
And both of those teams, Armstrong and Park Center, should be high seeds in their respective section tournaments. So a great way really to finish the season. They would have loved to get one win out of the 2 and be able to finish at 500, but 12-14, very respectable considering this team had just 6 wins in the last 3 seasons combined. There's a look at your Section 7 4A tournament brackets. Cardinals earn the number 3 seed. They will host number 6 seed Anoka on Thursday. And Howie,
we'll be there.
It's a team that they've split with this season. And number 2 seed Blaine, another team the Cardinals split with, would be their likely second round matchup if they're able to beat the Tornadoes. Forest Lake, who the Cardinals beat in the first game of the season by a single point in a dramatic win, they get the number 1 seed. So Cardinals can look up the ladder and know they can beat any team in this conference or in this section.
No question about it. I think this seeding set up really well for them. They get an opportunity if they get past Anoka, and we hope so, obviously that they do. There's a good chance that they're going to play Blaine, and as you talked about, a team they'd split with. But I think that the team that they beat by 16 just not too long ago.
The second time, and that's always when you look at a split, you think, okay, I would much rather have the win in the second game. That's the case for both both the Anoka and Blaine series this season. Cardinals lost the first, won the second, and they won the second by more than they lost the first.
No question about it. And if it sets up the way they do and they have opportunity to get past Blaine, if they face Forest Lake, it'll be a rematch of the opening game of the year, which they won by 1 point.
It was very exciting.
That would be fun. That would be fun. But one game at a time. We're not going to look past anything.
Absolutely. But we will try to follow them as far as we are allowed. Obviously, as the number 3 seed, we will be there for the opening round against Anoka. Should they advance, we'll have to speak with our friends over at North Metro to see who gets rights, the number 2 Bengals versus the number 3 Cardinals, because technically as the number 2 seed, their TV group would have the rights. But hopefully a win there, and maybe we get to see a championship game. That would be so much fun. And we were talking about it before the show. When was the last time a boys basketball team from Coon Rapids hosted a section game? If you know the answer, let us know.
Please.
We were trying to figure it out. We think it happened maybe in the late 90s or very early 2000s. Either way,
the best I could come up with.
Well over a decade, and it should be fun. And that is all we have for you the rest of the winter season. We'll follow the boys basketball team as far as we are allowed. We'll be back next week with another short show. And, of course, it will only be boys basketball. But hopefully we'll have a couple of highlights to show you from this week and talk about a championship match. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young. Say good night.